Here is the tale of American watermelons for you. The year is 1998, and I live in the United States of America, but I happen to be in Russia's provincial town of Azov, right next to Rostov-on-Don, about 20 miles. The land of farmers, nothing but fields, fields, fields all around it. People are mostly farmers. They grow things, and they're very good at it. Well, at a farmer's market, a local bazaar, there's a guy who sells watermelons, locally grown. He grew watermelons himself, but they're not so great. Mediocre. That no one wants to buy his watermelons. The guy comes out with an ingenious marketing move. He takes a large piece of cardboard and writes down American watermelons. And that makes all the difference. People start buying watermelons of this guy. And they're just, selling like hotcakes. The guy sells all the watermelons in 2 hours, and people take them. They never tried American watermelons before. They want to see what kind of watermelons are grown in the United States of America. So they take them home, they cut them open, and the watermelons are not good. People are upset. They go back to the farmer's market, the bazaar, but the guy who sold them, so-called American watermelons, is already gone. They are very angry. They're very upset. And American watermelons become talk of the bazaar and talk of the town that day. People go around talking to each other, cursing, swearing, saying that Americans sent their rotten watermelons specifically on purpose to poison the residents of city of Azov. Folks, this is a true story. I witnessed it myself. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin, and welcome to Inside Russia, where I stream every single day with the updates, news, events unfolding in Mother Russia. I am currently in Uzbekistan, but Russia is inside of me. And I'm a little outside of Russia, but that doesn't change things. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for giving me a chance. I have a message for you today, which I think you're going to find quite interesting. I would like to talk about what Russians, majority, not all, but majority of Russians, think of you. I assume you are sitting watching me right now in one of the Western countries, English-speaking countries. Well, obviously, I am speaking English right now. So you must be in the United States, Canada, the UK, Europe, one of the European countries, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, perhaps some other countries. In Russia, you're called the Collective West these days. That's a recent development. Well, I gotta tell you something. The tea is back, by the way. Russians are very similar to you. Russians, well, us Russians and you have similar values. We have similar, we like the same things. We mostly are Christian. With Christian values. We like the same kinds of foods. We like the same kinds of events, shows, We're very similar. If you take a Russian person and transport him or her into the United States, into one of the large cities, the Russian will find it a little strange, a little unusual, but it will find in a situation, in a background fairly comfortable. Okay, same thing goes for an American, an Englishman, a Canadian, French, a Dutch, you name it. So if you take one, like if you go to Russia and you find yourself in Moscow, in St. Petersburg, in any Russia's large city, you will find yourself in a somewhat strange place, unusual place, but you will not find yourself in a hostile environment, in a very alien environment. It's not home, but something very similar, okay? And most likely, both Russians have come to the West, to the United States or to Europe, and Europeans, Americans, Canadians that come to Russia, they'll enjoy their stay. I've seen it before. I've seen it many times. I know. Trust me on that. Like if you go to China, for example, or India, or some other countries like in Southeast Asia, you will find alien culture, alien environment, something that you're not used to, okay? Because the values are quite different. Not the case with Russia. So Russians are quite similar. Yet, Russians, majority of Russians, regular Russians, have lots of stereotypes about you. They think they know you. They think they know how you think, how you act, and what you want. And the knowledge of Russians is far from the reality. Trust me, I know. I know the Russians, and I know you. I'm one of the Russians, and I'm one of you. So, how is that possible? Very simple. Two things contribute majorly, in my opinion. First thing is lack of personal experience. Most Russians have never been outside of Russia. Well, quite a few Russians, but not the majority, they took vacations. Very short vacations, usually 1 or 2 weeks. And the most popular destinations are Turkey, Egypt, Thailand. More advanced, more well-to-do Russians used to go to Europe, but not too many because, it's a lot of money and a lot of efforts. So, but the majority of Russians, they've never been outside of Russia. So they have nothing to compare Russia with. They actually have not seen you in person. They've never talked to you. They've never understood how you feel, how you act, who you are. Okay? And they just base their opinions on what they're told. And who tells them? Well, first is TV, and the second is the media. And who controls TV and the media in the mother Russia? That's right, the government. So the second reason is propaganda and brainwashing. The stereotypes have been nailed into the heads of the regular Russian people over extended, prolonged period of time. It was skillfully crafted, engineered, and executed. Okay? That's why Russians have stereotypes. If they actually got up and they would travel and saw you and spoke to you and drank with you and ate with you and, shook hands with you, I'm pretty sure that lots of stereotypes would disappear. But we have what we have. So I'm going to give you a few stereotypes, a few examples. Not all of them. Of course, I can't cover them all, but, I'll try to tell you about the ones that I find significant. Number one, Russians think that you value money and profits above morals and ethics because you come from the land of capitalism. And capitalism is all about market economy, business, making money. They think, a good example, Russia has been hit by incredible amount of sanctions. It's the most sanctioned country in the world right now, and I think in the history of the humankind. And the talk between Russians is this. Well, we understand why the governments of the Western countries placed sanctions upon Russia, because they're enemies. They consider Russia an enemy. But we also understand that the companies, not the governments, but the companies who left Russia, they did it under pressure from their governments, from their regulators, and so forth. If they don't leave, then they would be placed upon sanctions themselves. And Russians fail to understand that money is not the highest value in the West. Quite contrary, the morals and the ethics are the highest value. Money perhaps comes second, perhaps third, I'm not sure. But I am absolutely sure that the Western people, you value morals and ethics above money. But that's not what the Russians think. Well, partially they judge by themselves, because it's a different story. Russia has very difficult history. In the 90s, lots of things, not very healthy things, happened to our society. But I will get to it in one of the latest streams or videos. Stereotype number 2. The Russians think that you depend on Russia's natural gas and like it so much that you even see it in your dreams when you're sleeping. The Russians think that without Russian gas, you are done. I'm talking mostly about the Europeans, especially about Germans. There have been tons of jokes, memes, articles in the newspapers, talk shows about you depending and wanting our gas. It is a very, very widespread stereotype that once winter hits you in Europe, you going to crawl on your knees and beg Russia to turn natural gas back on. I've seen memes. I even have seen a short video, very sarcastic one, produced by either Gazprom on one of the gas companies. Russians think that when you see your bills for heating hot water, based on gas, natural gas, price increase, then again, you gotta come and beg and then, cancel the sanctions that you placed on Russia and so forth. What they fail to understand, that most of you would rather pay 10 times more for heating and hot water in the houses rather than back off the sanctions and change your position about Russia and Ukraine. But that's a huge stereotype. That's what most Russians think of you, especially the Europeans. Stereotype number 3. Europe, well, more likely America, and is leading, and Europe is right behind. They are the dance of sin. There is the decay, moral decay in your countries There's plenty of sins. The sins are widespread and supported by lots of people in your society. For example, in Europe, in the United States, especially in Germany, in Europe, I don't know why, but Germany is kind of singled out. There are, LGBT, LBGT, LBTG, you know what I mean, parades almost every week in major cities, and people actually strip down naked and they go and dance and they have parades and jump up and down and kids are watching and so forth. And Russians are appalled of that. Well, I have hard time believing that it happens in mass, okay? But that's what Russians think, that America and Europe are dens of sin. Stereotype number 4, and it's being pumped up lately, about, I'd say, I don't know, a few years, is that many kids at schools in the United States and in Europe, in Germany again, and Netherlands, are not boys and girls anymore, but transgender kids, and their sexes are the teachers and the society welcomes when they change their sexes. I don't really know what to think of that. I don't believe that. But this is something that is circulating in the Russian society, and many Russians think of you that way, of your countries. I have personally talked to quite a few of them, and it's kind of like weapon of last defense. When I say something nice about Europe, they say, but how can you say that? Look at them. Look what they're doing. They're changing sexes of boys and girls and, and so forth. And then this is like the highest sin. Okay. At the end of the message, I will tell you why I think it's happening and what happens when I try to inform people. Okay. So just give me a few minutes. Stereotype number 5 is that in America and in Europe, again, there are many types of sexes. Used to be just 2, male, female, but now there are 40. I have heard that with my own ears. There are 40 sexes. And people, they actually, talking about that seriously. It's not like they're joking. It's not like they're, being sarcastic when they speak. They really believe that. Lots of Russians believe that. And anywhere you go, you will find there's people of different sexes. 40 of them, whatever they are. I've never heard of this thing before. Okay. 40 kinds of sexes. Now let's go to, from society and people, let's go to NATO. Stereotype number 6 is that NATO is actually not a defensive alliance. NATO's goal has always been to destroy Russia. Before, I would say 10-15 years ago, this wasn't the stereotype, but it has been created, it was created recently, and it has been circulating, and people believe in it more and more. I don't believe in it. I actually know what NATO is all about. It doesn't take rocket science to educate oneself about NATO, but this is a stereotype. That's what they think of your defensive alliance. Stereotype number 7 is that Russia is actually at war with the collective West, with you. Yes, most Russians think that we Russians are at war with you. It's not about Ukraine any longer. Opinion that was voiced by many Russian officials, media people, politicians. It's not about Ukraine anymore. They're trying to kind of, put the Ukraine aside, so to speak. Do not pay too much attention to it. But it's the war between us and the collective West, us and the NATO. Very simple. There are NATO soldiers in Ukraine. There are NATO weapons in Ukraine. There are NATO consultants and trainers in Ukraine. What it is then? Of course, it's a war with NATO. It's quite convenient, isn't it? And I'm gonna talk about these 2 last items, the stereotypes. So this is stereotype number 7. That's what I think they think of us and you, the conflict that we're in. And stereotype number 8 is that the collective West, the Western countries' existential goal is to destroy Russia's sovereignty. Before we knew that we were surrounded by the enemies, this appeared in 2012, in February, when Vladimir Putin was getting re-elected, or getting close to election, his 3rd election. And Dmitry Medvedev was the president. Vladimir Putin, for the first time, said that, our friends in the West, before they were friends, you were friends, we were friends. But in 2012, you became from friends to partners. And, the goal of partners was partners' own profit, partners' own goals, partners' own agendas, not Russians. So that's how we became so-called partners. But even then, we understood what he meant by saying partners, okay? But then lately, from partners, your status has been downgraded to the enemies. Collective West is at war with Russia, okay? And its existential goal is to destroy Russia's sovereignty. Oh my gosh. Well, before it was just the enemies surrounded by now there's a goal of destroying sovereignty. It just a couple weeks appeared. And I don't really know, none of us know what it means, actually, to destroy Russia's sovereignty. No one cared to explain. It sounds kind of, well, I'm not going to criticize, because I'm not the one who said it, but it sounds not very believable if you start thinking and asking questions. But that's what a lot of Russians have started thinking about you, the West, the collective West, that you want to destroy our sovereignty for whatever it is. So for the last couple stereotypes, it's actually quite convenient, It's convenient because when you say something like, oh, Russian troops went into Ukraine, attacked Ukraine, and killing Ukrainian soldiers, our brothers and sisters. Vladimir Putin said it himself many times, that Ukrainians are brothers and sisters. And he said just recently, a couple of days ago, that he has utmost respect for the Ukrainians. Yet, our troops are killing Ukrainians in Ukraine. Okay, it's one thing. But to say, and it's kind of, you can't really explain. Like, how? How is this? This is mad circus, okay? But if you kind of put Ukraine aside and you say, hey, It's not Ukraine. It's not about Ukraine. It's about the collective West. It's about NATO. NATO is there. NATO is the enemy. NATO wants to destroy our sovereignty, okay? NATO is the bad guys. Everything becomes crystal clear. Ukrainians just unlucky guys, they were in the way between us and NATO, okay? So, pretty interesting, huh? Russia, in most stereotypes, you can kind of see that they've been engineered by people. And throughout most of them, you can see this idea that Russia is the last pillar of goodness. Russia has values, Christian Orthodox values, conservative values. Russia is the last hope for this world. And Russia is fighting the den of sins, the collective West. So we are basically have the just cause, okay? Rather than being outcasts and pariah, no, we're the victims. We're the ones who the evil is trying to destroy it. And we are holding, the beacon of light, the last hope for this world. Again, I think that this is due to two things. First is lack of traveling outside of Russia. If Russians saw that with own eyes, what is happening in the United States and Canada, how people live there, what kind of people they are, and so forth. If they sat down at the tables and ate and drank together and prayed together, it's kind of hard to fool your eyes, your heart, and your soul, But if you sit someplace and you've never been outside of Russia, and then the only link to the world you have is your TV set, that's a different story. And also, when all around you, very smart people of marketing, people of psychology, people of influence, engineer things that go straight into your head in a very effective way, it's kind of hard to resist. It's kind of hard, especially if you're not educated, if you don't know what you're facing, okay? It's very, very hard. And that's why the stereotypes in Russia are there. Well, my friends, thank you so much. This has been my message today. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it interesting. There are actually quite a few questions that can be asked on this issue. Please go ahead and ask in the comments. I will try to answer all of them. And before I turn the comments on, I would like to let you something to inform you of something I'm thinking to do, something new, and kind of need your advice too. Lately, I had a comment from a lady, an old subscriber, saying, hey, we've been trying to ask you questions in the chat without super chats, without sending you support, and then you seem to be ignoring us. I do not do you even need us silent commenters any longer in the chat? Well, my question is, of course I need you. Of course, all members of the community they're very dear to my heart. You are dear to my heart. It's just I try to acknowledge people who send support with thank you and words because they actually send their hard-earned money, okay? And then some streams, I have more super chats, so therefore I have less time to answer regular questions. But that's not good. I want to find balance from now on, and this is what I'm going to be trying to do starting tomorrow. I'm going to take down the questions. Well, I'm going to keep on acknowledging super chats, and I really appreciate for you sending support. And there are questions usually in super chats, and I answer them. So I will keep on doing that, but I will also look at all questions directed to me that are in caps and inside Russia after @, so it appears in a large orange box. So I will look at them, but the following morning, I will write them all down and I'll make a video and I'll upload it the following morning or early afternoon. The video with answering all the questions. Let's do that. Let's try a couple times. See how many efforts it takes for me to do that and how much time I need to do that. Like I need to have to do that. So let's try it. So that way I cover all the questions and none is left unattended, so to speak. Let me just take my prayer notebook, get it out of the way. And I'm about to turn on the comments. Thank you so much. So please, your questions about what Russians think of certain things. I think you have questions. The comments are on. So let's do it. Mommy is number one today. Mommy and Lorna. Two of you are always number one. Howdy. Mickey, Angelic Cat Life, Amber Makers, Ragnar Mayrag, Airborne Snail. Alex, howdy from Denmark. The usual suspects are here. So great to see you. Thank you so much for coming back, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night again. Love the streams, says Samsa Solman. Thank you. I like the streams too. Thank you so much. Lots of people from Texas. Frank, Ryan Williams, Tim, Mona. My friends, thank you for supporting. There's a first super chat from X Flying Tiger, from John and Nikki from Lake Shasta. Nikki wants to know if your wife ever watches your live streams. Great question. First of all, let me remind you, I'll get to that in a second. Let me remind you, if you want me to see the question directed at me, please put it in caps and put Inside Russia after @ so it appears in a large orange box. I will tend to that. Nikki, yes, she does. If she doesn't catch them live, because it's 11 p.m., 11 to midnight, she usually sleeps, but sometimes she watches live. Then she catches first thing in the morning. And I'll tell you more. She contributes a lot. We brainstorm, we discuss things, because we're like-minded souls with her, or heads, I don't know, how do you call it? So we have like similar opinions, and she just gives me sometimes brilliant ideas. Or I give her an idea, and then she kind of like tells me, oh, this would be interesting. And she calls me up and says, listen, I just saw this. Do you think it would be interesting for the subscribers? And this is how we work together. Okay, so she does, and she's very active in the streams. Angelic at Life, I hope you're feeling better. I think you're getting bigger, and of course you want to please everyone, but you need to learn you can't please all the people all the time. Angelic at Life, you're spot on, but I want to please everyone, as many people as possible, because this is a community. This is about message, about you coming and watching, and everyone behaving nice and commenting, and it's nothing like that, not like nothing else than that. You know what I mean? So I do want to please as many people as I can. Black Cat, howdy. The informal mod member of a mod team. You're all rock stars. You are all rock stars, Waldemar Wall, defending NATO. Don't you think a certain president should actually get the NATO Salesman of the Year award for 2022? I mean, of course, we know who that is. It's crazy. One of the Next streams I'm gonna make is how to destroy a country fast in 7 months, circa September 2022, and then I'm gonna talk about the NATO salesman of the year, of the century, not of the year. Ginger Hardley, what do you think about the many cultures around the world who recognize more than two sexes? I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Well, difficult question. I am Christian, okay, and I go by the Bible. Bible says two sexes, but also the Bible says, "Do not judge others, and you will not be judged." That's Jesus Christ said, and I try to do that. I try not to judge people. If a person wants to claim that a person has a different sex, okay, I personally don't care, okay. I know that we're all children of God, and we're all going to be standing in God at one point of our life or time, and He will be asking us, not all of us, but personally, every single one of us, and we will be responsible for the actions. I'll be responsible for mine, and person who declares a different sex will be responsible for his or hers or whatever. It's actions, okay, and that's my stand on it. So I'm not the one who's gonna take rocks and start throwing into that person, plain and simple. John Liebold, back with a bang. John, howdy. It's not a matter of religious belief. Sexually, biodiversity is an anatomical and neurophysiological fact that nature determines your sexual development, and the majority of heterosexual humans are simply that. Didn't quite understand completely what you wrote, but in my world, the picture is very simple. There are two sexes, men and women, and like I said in the previous question, if somebody wants to be something else, I'm not the one to say no. Okay, I'm not the one to take a stone and or rock and throw a rock at that person. Calvin, thank you so much. Thank you very much. No message, but this message is pretty powerful. Tara Hunter, do you think that opinion about the West will begin to change now that so many Russians have had to escape the country and may have access to uncensored news and internet? I've heard the number of 700,000 people from Forbes. Think about this. 700,000 men, young, able, strong, energetic, self-confident men have left Russia. That's a little off topic. That's a tragedy in my words, in my world. I think as soon as person gets outside of Russia and starts seeing things with his or her, well, in this case, his eyes, opinion will start to change. Yes, absolutely. You come to Uzbekistan and you have, before you have this crazy idea about Uzbekistan, but you see how nice this place is, how nice people are welcoming you and they're very nice, polite, there's no crime, and you go, wait a second. They were telling me one thing, but Uzbekistan turns out to be completely different, all right? If you have some gray matter in your head, you will start thinking that. You will start asking questions and putting two and two together. And Tara, I think Russians will start putting two and two together. At least I hope, for that. SMF 314 for your tea budget. Thank you so much. Huge support. Thank you. This is my new cup, new tea. And tomorrow I'm going to I already made the video about how I brew tea for the first time in this apartment. I'm going to upload it for the sponsors and the patrons. It's my way of thanking them for, supporting me. Thank you so much. And for everyone else, I'm going to upload pictures. So you also are part of this information, David Sharp. Constantine, hope you're well. Good message. It seems to be the less educated and the less advantaged in our societies that develop this kind of narrow-minded thinking. How do we address this? My friend, you're absolutely right. David, less educated, less advantaged. But in Russia, it turns out I'm going to have a very good stream tomorrow. I have a guest for the first time in the stream, besides my wife. Come and hear what he has to say about the place where he comes from. It's actually quite amazing. Myself, Russian, born and raised in Russia, he shocked me. He was telling me how they live there, a place I've never been to, and it's really shocking. So you will understand more tomorrow, because this stream, this message is linked to tomorrow's message, okay? And I'm going to address that at the end of tomorrow's stream, okay? You will understand how people live in some parts of Russia, and you will understand how easy for them to be brainwashed and then to come up with some stereotypes that are given and engineered for them. Yodi Racer, thank you so much. Supposed LGBTQ, whatever it is, I've never heard of LGBTQ. Problems in the United States are nothing. What is the Q, by the way? In the United States are nothing but the liberal media stirring the pot. I have seen zero problems in Vegas with them being treated unfairly. Well, listen, Yodi Racer, this is exactly my point of the stream, okay? There are people who are different, okay? And again, I am not the one to take a rock and throw into them, okay? I don't judge, at least I try not to. And fine, things happen. I mean, you know, this is a very interesting and very deep life, so to speak. But in Russia, there is a stereotype that it's everywhere. On the streets, the parades every day, well, perhaps not every day, but every week, people, you know, running around naked, and the society is decaying. You see, that's the difference. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was trying to tell you. This is how Russians perceive this, and this is what actually happens. I lived near Portland, Maine, and you know what? They were gay and lesbian people there, but they were treated normally. One of my employees actually was gay. One of my friends was gay. You know, it's like, who cares? How do I care? All right. I don't remember anyone being mistreated, and I don't remember them coming out and saying, hey, our way is the right way, you're doing it wrong, and stuff like that. Everyone just got along, okay? And that's what this world is all about. We're just getting along, but that's not what they think in Russia. They think that the West is decaying. Donna, thank you so much, $20. It's only the people who make other choices, their business, that give the land of free a bad name. It's only the people who make others' choices. Yes, exactly. That's my point exactly, you know. Likewise, if you never tasted the real freedom, you don't always understand its endless capacity. Agree, Donna? Agree and agree. Thank you so much. RW has just given the sponsorship to 10 people. Thank you so much, my friend, from myself and from 10 people, the new sponsors. ZH, Constantine, from your perspective, what bothers Russian elites more? That Americans are their cultural four, or that Americans have no thought about Russia because they don't care? Great questions, and they're not easy, they're not short to answer. Once I start answering and going, I will miss other super chats. What do I do? Tell me what I do now. This is a huge question, and I see some €5 £5 super chats. They're gonna disappear in seconds. I'm back. Do Russians realize that when there are only a handful of customers left, they lose the sovereignty and become a vassal state? No, they don't. You're right. I know that, you know that, you all know that, but they don't. I don't know why. Richard Burris, first time in 20 years, a cosmonaut rocketed from the US on Wednesday, launched into the International Space Station despite tensions. Russian cosmonaut, the lady. I saw that in the news and I was thinking, oh my God, together, Russian cosmonaut flying an American ship. This is like, what the hell is going on there? Like, if we still can do these great things to send people to space, Russian along American, someone wake me up, please. What the hell is going on, Vlad, 79, our fellow countrymen simply love to blame the collective West for their own incompetence. Yep, it's always the others because it's easy. Yep. And if you start blaming yourself, it's painful. It's not difficult, but it's painful. Okay, because you gotta take responsibility. You gotta take responsibility for the action, for your life, and that's the most difficult part. Marvin English, good to see you, friend, from California. Thank you so much, my friend. Let me get back to that question and answer about the elites. And I see it disappeared. Ay. See, I'm already lost in the super chats. Yeah, forget it. I gotta sip of tea. They just appear and disappear. That was a great question about the elites. I'm gonna get into that. Stat musician, are Russians aware that church and synagogues attendance rates are much higher in the US than in Western Europe? I don't think so, because no one knows. How do they know? They gotta see it for themselves, or they're gonna be informed. Okay, none, nothing. They're not informed. They don't see it for themselves. I saw it. Okay, I lived in the United States, but it makes me not Russian, but hybrid, or I don't know, cyborg or something like that, because I like two cultures inside of me. Wanda, my town, Portland, Oregon, has a naked bike tied once a year. Funny. Motto is to keep Portland weird. Just fun, not normal. Most of the rest is just not important. And that's totally okay. That's what I like about the United States. Things like that are not possible in Russia, okay? In the United States, it's possible. It's for fun. Keep Portland weird. Fantastic. Locals get together and just do it out of, I don't know. Nothing wrong with that. James Matney, thank you so much. 10 people are sponsors, courtesy of James. Thank you so very much from me and from the people. Thank you very much, Agnes. Very interesting message. Thank you, Agnes. Yodi Racer, I was just trying to clarify that our media also feeds people false information. I'm not saying that the American media or Western media is perfect. I understand that. Thanks for clarification. Gotcha. Anthony Sanchez, I'm so glad you're safe. God bless from the USA. Thank you so much. Somewhat safe, well, much safer than I used to be. As long as when my family joins, and then anyway, there are future plans. Richard Morey, is part of the problem that the West always refers to Russia, meaning VP, failing to delineate between the dictator and ordinary Russians and create negative sound bites for state media? It's a tough question. I gotta understand it first. The West always refers to Russia, meaning Vladimir Putin, failing to I don't know. I think the Western media has actually done a pretty good job keeping the government, the leader, and the people separate, Um, so I think I disagree, but I might be not well informed on that issue, at least from what I see. Daniel K, welcome to Deep Inside Russia. Whoa, second tier. Thank you so much, my friend. Ken Nicholson, thanks for the $10. No message, but this message is very powerful. Thank you so much. And Karen from Maine. Right now, the international crew of Dragon Endurance is docking with international space stations. Politics will not affect the Russians and US space program. Show us how cooperation can exist, my astronaut angels. Look, I'm gonna make a separate stream on that, because that just gives me mixed emotions. It gives me hope. This tiny ray of light, tiny bit of hope in the last 7 months, that this Russian lady cosmonaut, incredible. Just give me a couple days, because I have stream after stream coming up. And Garnet Ring, thank you so much. You mentioned your wife. Has your family now joined to you? Hope so. Well, two things. My family is very safe. Otherwise, I wouldn't have left. I would rather die. So I'm not worried about my family in Moscow now. And there are plans. I'm not going to tell you here publicly about the plans, but we working something out. So I will keep you informed and posted, and you will know the first ones. Adams, it's easier to fool people than it is to convince them that they have been fooled. Mark Twain. Mark Twain is such a great writer. He's so full of wisdom. His phrases like this, they're just gold, pure gold. Thank you so much. Jeannie R for a Big Mac. Love your Constantine piece. There's no McDonald's in Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan food deserves a different stream, a different video. I'm definitely gonna attend to that. Now I'm going to be having much more free time because I'm being laid off at the end of the month. I'll be making more videos. But there's no McDonald's here in Uzbekistan. There's Wendy's, and I'm not sure about Burger King, but I'm not a big fan of Burger King. And Wendy's just because there's no Wendy's in Russia, and it's kind of novelty, I would go and eat there once. So I'm taking it not for Big Mac, but for whatever Wendy's has, the Baconator, Carbonator, something like that, the large sandwich, I'm gonna have that. But not the best choice here in Uzbekistan, because this place is so full of fantastic food, Okay, let me go back and try to find this. I see quite a few questions about my, no beard. Lab 14, keep in mind that many of us don't believe in gods, but we're still good people. Oi, look, God is such a personal thing with everyone. My dad did not believe in God. He's actually made fun of people who believed in God until he was 49, I believe. And then God came into his life and he started preaching. Okay, so each one of us has a very personal story. Okay, I don't doubt that you're good people, even though if you don't believe in God. In my eyes, there are no people who don't believe, because in my eyes, God is love, and we'll have hearts that are beating. In our hearts, there is some love for someone, at least a little bit. Some people have more love, some less, but there's love, okay? As long as there's love, there's God. That's God, okay? That's plain and simple. You don't have to believe in it, in Him. You can, like, doesn't matter. So I certainly do not divide people into the ones who believe in God and the ones who don't. my dad did not believe in God. That didn't make him a worse person for the first 49 years of his life, okay? He just simply had his path, plain and simple. We have a new sponsor, 100 Steve B. Thank you so much. Welcome to Inside Russia. Please, new sponsors, old sponsors, come Saturday. I will do the live stream. I will try to make it different this time. I'm experimenting with computer, and I'll try to show you my old footage or my old pictures, comment on them. So it's not gonna be just talking head. It's gonna be something different. Where is that? I see Lorraine Prasnowski. Thank you so much. And I see Brianna B. Konstantin, you're not wrong. I think travel curses stereotype. I also have found Russians to be loyal friends. Fantastic friends. I mean, Brianna, you lived here for such a long time. Russians are good people. They have similar values to yours. They're good friends. They're very welcoming. If you have no money, just make a friend with a Russian. He or she will welcome to the house, feed you, give you a place to stay, and wouldn't even need money. That's Russians for you. Graham John, thank you so much. A lot of people here get their info from the mainstream media. Bad idea. I think that's increasingly bad idea to get information from mainstream media. I have canceled mainstream media. I just try to get information, but not just take it to form the picture of the world, but to ask questions, to see what's going on, how they say it. You know what I mean? Anyway, I wanted to find that question about the elites in the super chat. It's not letting me go. Radek Novak, do Russians get upset by jokes of them or Russia? They don't hear jokes about them. They make jokes about others. What's good for the goose, good is good for the geezer. So I assume they wouldn't get upset, but I simply haven't heard, in Russia, I haven't heard jokes about Russians. Kai Cobra, U.S. stocks up are MGNs, radiation sickness, drug, and plate. Well, it's sad. It's sad, that everyone is expecting, or, I don't know, thinking of this huge, terrible thing. Isaac Tucker. Would the Big P do something drastic if he loses? How do I know? I hope not. I hope he's surrounded by people with common sense. I hope he has common sense. I hope he has love in his heart, mercy, forgiveness that we pray every day for. Anyways. Angie sends me many signs, says a lot of those stereotypes to some degree are actually true, although not to the huge extent your country believes. In the US, people are upset about it too. Well, I think in my country it's exaggerated, okay? It's blown out of the proportion, and that's what the message I'm trying to, get to you. Now, if anyone can help me out, somehow I cannot go back higher than hang on. (1:53 a.m.), like 7 minutes back. That's all I can go in the to see the messages. What the heck? Anyway, that was an incredibly interesting message about the elites, how the elites, I don't remember it, but I remember it was a good question. I will definitely get to it tomorrow morning, so please tune in to the answers of the questions of the stream. So I will try not to leave the even one question without attention. So at least, let's try a couple days. We'll see how it goes. I hope I'm not going to be buried in work. It takes lots of time and lots of efforts to produce videos. It's very time-consuming thing, but that's okay. Bob S., thank you so much. Thinking of you, my friend. I'm checking time right now, and I'm seeing that it's time to go to the prayer and wrap this stream up. Tomorrow, little announcement before I go. There will be a person who recently left Russia and came to Uzbekistan, and he's staying in Tashkent right now. He actually has more to say about the mobilization, about what is going on deep inside Russia, not in the large cities, but smaller towns, villages, where regular folks, not very well-to-do folks live, okay? And his insight is going to be invaluable and shocking. So please come back tomorrow. I think you will like it. Well, at least you will find it interesting. I'm not sure if you'll like it. I'm not liking it. I'm quite shocked, and I'm a Russian myself. Anyway, my friends, I would like to invite everyone to pray with me. Thank you so much. Religious, non-religious, believing in God, non-believing in God, all are welcome. Please join us in prayer and send people prayers, good wishes, good energy, good vibes, good karma, whatever you want to call it. But let's do it together. Thank you so much. Dear God, thank you very much for giving us this day. Thank you for giving food on our tables, giving roofs over our heads, surrounding us with the loved ones and people who we love and who love us. Please keep our children safe and healthy. Please watch over them. Give us wisdom so we raise our children the way that they become better people than us. They will make this world a better place, and they will never engage in any kinds of wars. Dear God, please help Ukraine stop the bloodshed in that country. Reach out and touch the hearts of people who can make that decision to stop the bloodshed. Fill their hearts with love, mercy, empathy, forgiveness, warmth. Make their hearts tender and warm. Open their eyes so they wake up finally, and they will get horrified of what has happened between our countries, and they will make decision to stop the bloodshed, and they will stop it. Please, I'm also asking to reach out and the presidents of Russia and the United States and fill their hearts with love, mercy, empathy, forgiveness. Make them forget and forgive. Open their eyes so they will see what has happened, and they will make the right decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help everyone who's been affected in Ukraine. Give them strength, give them recovery, give them forgiveness, give them happiness, give them mercy. Help them to go through this very hard time. Answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Please help those who are helping Ukrainians, opening their homes, wallets, reaching out and giving their hands, praying, sending good wishes. Please help those people. Send angels to every single person who's in Ukraine, so everyone is kept out of harm's way. Not one single drop of blood is shed anymore. I'm also asking for all people who are traveling, please send them safe travels. And I'm asking for the ones who are running for their life, seeking refuge, seeking safe harbor. Please send help their way. Asking for people who are suffering from depression, post-traumatic disorder, mental illnesses. Please help them. Take your hand and calm them down, please, with your large, warm, and loving hand. I'm asking for all pregnant women who are making decision right now whether to keep baby or not. Reach out and talk to them so they make the right choice. Send help their way and surround them with the loved ones. Please, give us all enough common sense to not ever use nuclear weapons. We rely on you, on your help, on your love. Please have mercy on us. Please cancel every single thought in every person's head who wants to use it against other people. Please keep us all safe. Please help all people in Uzbekistan for helping Russians who come here to settle, to run away from danger in their country. We're thanking them very much, and please help them. Thank you so much for bringing us together into this community and giving us opportunity to pray together. Please help everyone who's praying right now or watching us pray. Please answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true. I would like to mention a few people who need your help. I will start with a child that's a grandson of Scan's family. He is ill and he needs your help. Please perform your miracle on the child. Please show miracle to him and his family who need it very much. Please send complete recovery and cure, and send him back to the family home where he lives long and healthy life surrounded by the loved ones. Please help to Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Galina, and Igor. Michael Milkevitz, who's ill and needs your help. Cindy, who is recovering from a surgery. Buzz, Jean-Paul, Paula, Janine, Michael, Marlene, Susan S., Fiona, Madeline, Stephen, Ellen, Freddie, Sabrina, Felicia, Paul Binz, Preacher's father, Rudy Kaisley family, brother, Richard, Robert Morgan's sister, Mallory M., please help with her professional situation, Dirk Misler's father, please send speedy recovery. Please help James Rhodes, who's heading for heart surgery soon. May Scott Nesbitt's sister rest in peace. Please help Lars Henrik's father. Brittany S. Wait for it. Lane Hankins. Bridget Apley. Hannah and her children. Agnes' sister. Robert Morgan's sister. Angelica at Life. Please send her a speedy recovery. Richard Burris, who's also going for a medical procedure, very serious one. Ace with broken ankle, please help. Rafaela From and her daughter Anna, Priscilla, Michelin, King Nero, Gabby Hyman, Martin, Joanne, Donald from Wisconsin, Allison Dave Moyers, I Found Waldo, Liz, Deborah, Isabel Legault, may her father rest in peace and please give her strength to go through this tragedy. Janice Burgess, Marlene M. and her sister. Golden Griffon. Geeky's granddad, Terry Carter, Bruce, Kayleen, Michael, Ariana, Terry Scrugg, Michael, Thomas, Tony, Bob, Jessica, Minutes to Midnight, Sandy Workman and her husband Rod, Mr. Hanson, Haiti Howitz, and Carol Reed. Please help everyone who needs your help and asking for your help. Again, please answer everyone's prayers and make everyone's wishes come true. Thank you so much, dear Father, Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. My friends, thank you so much. Again, please come back tomorrow morning, your time, or early afternoon if you're in Europe. I will try to get the video with answering questions done by the time. We'll see how it works. Thank you for giving me a chance today. Thank you for coming, listening to the message, asking questions, participating, commenting. Really, really appreciate it. You are the best community in the world. And mods, thank you so much. Fantastic team. Mommy, Lorna, Harry, and Bob, you are the best. Thank you. I will see you soon.